Alright guys, welcome back to another one. So I wanted to provide some extended thoughts and speculation towards the recent stuff we got for Kingdom Hearts 4, just some fun stuff. Obviously there's been a lot of conversation revolving around this. It's so great because it sort of, for the most part, brings the community back together. Everyone's discussing theories and ideas. I love moments like this where we finally get a big Kingdom Hearts news drop and everyone's just kind of chatting in amongst themselves about the game in hand. So I want to bring the focus over to these two new enemies right here. We're pretty sure that this thing is the Quadratum Shadow Heartless. Quite the evolution it's taken on indeed. But looking at these two guys, there's been a lot of cool ideas surrounding them. So talking about this guy first, I still don't know what the hell this thing is. I did also notice, by the way, that this thing does actually have the hollowed out heart that both the dark side and this bigger boy right here sports. When its top blades are closed up, it does form the hollowed heart, so this seems to be a theme for the Quadratum Heartless. Now we know that Emblem Heartless are sometimes themed after the worlds they first appear in. Now I have mentioned that I don't think Emblem Heartless will be here in Quadratum. It kind of wouldn't make any sense for an artificial Heartless that was originally created in Sora's reality to somehow be here in unreality. However, I'm still pretty confident that we'll see Heartless that are themed or based off of different Disney properties. And there's been a pretty cool idea chucked around about this thing right here potentially being themed after Meet the Robinsons. It does have a pretty uncanny resemblance to the bowler hat robot Doris that Goob wears. Meet the Robinsons has been a pretty highly requested Disney property to get into Kingdom Hearts for some time, especially ever since the series first introduced time travel. I think that Todayland could be a pretty unique location. It is city focused though, and we already know that Quadratum's pretty much got that theme down on pat. Tetsuya Nomura has previously mentioned that he doesn't like to incorporate worlds that overlap in theme, though it's more likely that the world would be focused rather around the Robinson estate. We also know that Square Enix are willing to, if they're allowed to, go out of their way to create totally original and new locations based on an already existing Disney property, like what we saw with Toy Story. Now looking at Mr. Big Hands right here, there's a bunch of cool ideas floating around. Number one is a Thanos themed Heartless. The idea of using Disney's outer properties has been a conversation that's existed for Kingdom Hearts for quite some time, ever since Disney acquired properties like Marvel or Lucasfilms. We pretty much have a soft confirmation that Star Wars is in fact going to be in Kingdom Hearts 4, as we're led to believe that the forest environment that we see in the reveal trailer is in fact Endor. And there's that mysterious metallic looking object right on the frame of the shot here that resembles that of an AT-ST foot. I think over time, a lot of people have warmed up to the idea of Star Wars being included into Kingdom Hearts. I know personally I have. I used to be totally anti it, but now I'm kind of like, yeah, I can see how it would work. The themes of Star Wars are totally fitting for the themes of KH. And if we're truly going to get Return of the Jedi as the narrative base for a Star Wars world in Kingdom Hearts 4, I think that is going to be kind of epic, to be honest. However, I know that most people wouldn't be on board with a Marvel inclusion, and yes, that includes myself too. If Marvel truly were to be included into Kingdom Hearts, it would either use Spider-Man or, of course, the Avengers. Now, these films span across various locations, but the main one being New York City. So right there, we would have the world theme overlap conflict, considering that we've already got the city environment here with Quadratum. So personally, I don't think Marvel will be here in Kingdom Hearts 4. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for it to show up in some shape or form in the future of the series, but I think introducing two helpings of outer Disney properties in one Kingdom Hearts game would be a little bit overkill. Still though, you can't help but think when you're looking at these big Gauntlet Heartless, Infinity Gauntlet? Another idea is a potential Titan-themed Heartless themed after Final Fantasy. I am so down on the idea of more Heartless being themed after Final Fantasy creatures. We actually got a good amount of this in Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. There were Heartless bosses that were themed after the Final Fantasy summons. I've also seen people talking about Gigas, because there's a red one and there's a purple one. It's hard to say if this truly is a red variation or if it's just about to launch an attack out of its gauntlets. The problem with this is we already have Gigases and we know they already exist within the world of Quadratum, acting as the same type of enemy that we saw within Toy Box. Of course, these could just be brand new Heartless, non-related related to anything else. Something else that I didn't notice initially was how Sora's necklace has taken on quite a change. It no longer has the big, bulky chain links. It's probably made to tie in with the more realistic tone that Sora's new design is trying to go for. But come on, man, they literally take away the clown shoes, the clown pants, and now they've taken away the bulky necklace. Papa Nomura is taking away key staples of Sora's character. I'm emotional. Most of what we've seen of Kingdom Hearts 4 so far has taken place in the exact same location in Shibuya. Aside from the scenes of Sora's apartment building, which that's located in Aoyama, just outside of Shibuya, everything else has been taking place just outside of the Shibuya Hikari. For those that don't know, this is a very real building. It was actually the building where Kingdom Hearts 4 was first revealed. The KH4 trailer starts within sight of the Shibuya Hikari. The Dark Side invasion sequence is happening on the street outside of that building. In the secret movie for Kingdom Hearts 3, the Master of Masters can be seen standing on top of this building, and at the end of the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, we see both the Master of Masters and Lushu standing on top of the opposite building to the Hikari, the Shibuya Sky. The new screenshots here are taking place again in the exact same location, but the camera position here in these images are facing two different directions. This scene of the reveal trailer is actually taking place further down the road from this brand new screenshot. In fact, all three of these images down the bottom of the collage, I believe is a sequence of events. I think Square and Tetsuya Nomura set this up intentionally. Again, it's happening in the exact same location. I even managed to find this exact spot right here in real life Shibuya. So what I think's going on here is there are two orbs that fly towards the Dark Side Heartless. The next event is Sora witnessing those orbs landing towards that dark side. This matches the geographical location based on where Sora is standing and where the dark side is currently positioned. And this final image right here is Sora witnessing whatever just happened to the dark side. So something or someone has just attacked the Dark Side Heartless. It seems like in this situation, although from the reveal trailer we know that Sora actually fights against the Dark Side Heartless, it looks like somebody else actually takes care of it. I also managed to line up the exact same spots in real life Shibuya to the locations we see here in the images, and it's really impressive how one-to-one Square Enix are trying to replicate Shibuya. You can also find this exact same location in Kingdom Hearts 3's Quadratum. Of course, the player was never meant to see this area by normal means, so it's pretty low quality, but it's still pretty impressive to see how accurate it remains. We still don't know how expansive Quadratum is going to be in the sense of how many different areas of Tokyo will be explorable. Like a lot of other games that use Tokyo, it seems like right now Shibuya is the main focus. We do know though that Shinjuku is going to serve some type of importance. This is the part of Tokyo that Riku seemingly ends up in. And for whatever reason, Yozora is seemingly hanging around this spot too, as we see him sitting on top of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government building during the Kingdom Hearts 3 secret ending. I don't think it's a coincidence that Tetsuya Nomura set up the shot of the Master of Masters standing on top of the Shibuya Hikari, looking out towards the Shinjuku area with the Metropolitan building in clear view. And again, even in Kingdom Hearts 3, the Metropolitan building is a 2D asset that's been input into the background of Quadratum. So it's clearly an important area as well. There's a hidden HUD element, a part of the command menu that I didn't take notice of straight away, but as I took a closer look, I realized that this doesn't actually appear to be a part of the design of the themed command menu. We can see a long yellow bar here with what looks like an empty diamond square. You can see that it's slightly transparent, so it suggests that something fills this in. I love me some mystery Kingdom Hearts HUD elements. Could the yellow bar potentially be a take on an evolved version of the situation command system? No idea if this is even going to return, by the way, and it's sort of a mixed bag of feedback when looking at the situation command system from Kingdom Hearts 3. Nomura has brought up the idea of bringing back Kingdom Hearts 2's reaction command system. So if situation commands were to return, there would be a bit of a conflict there unless there was a different button binding for reaction commands. Personally, I would take reaction commands over situation commands any day. way. But it's also giving me command style vibes from Birth by Sleep. BBS had a gauge at the top of the command deck menu. As you were attacking and dishing out different commands, this gauge would fill, and eventually once it hits max, you would enter into a specific kind of command style. Although I absolutely prefer Keyblade transformation forms or drive forms, I know a lot of people are fond of the command style forms and this system. The empty box though is a mystery. Maybe it's an indicator used to signify that you've acquired the specific resource in order to use the build mechanic. Of course, we won't know anything more about this until we get proper footage and have an understanding as to how the build system actually works. The last thing I want to talk about here is the phone, because there's no way they just included this for the sake of including it. It absolutely serves some kind of importance. Now, I'm once again going to suggest a sequence of events or connections based on the positioning of these images. So looking at the phone, we start off with Strelitzia, then the phone, then Mickey. In my first video, I was suggesting that the phone is probably going to be used as some form of a connection for Sora to connect back to his reality. Now, this style of phone is known as a rotary dial phone. Though in modern times, a phone like this, specifically in Japan, though the concept of this has spread across the world, can be known as a wind phone. A wind phone is an old rotary phone that has been disconnected, and some people believe that it can be used to make a one-way call to that of deceased people. This concept derived from Japan, pretty much just a coping mechanism to deal with loss. However, most people probably recognize this concept from the 2022 movie The Black Phone, which is actually based on a short story written by Stephen King's son back in 2009. So here in Kingdom Hearts, I think that the phone is going to be used along the same lines. I have to say a special shout out to my friend Nerdy for suggesting the black phone theory, sending me into this small rabbit hole of the wind phone. It's some pretty interesting stuff. I really don't think the layout of these images are just random placements, by the way. Again, Nomura with his crypticness always leaving a breadcrumb trail. The phone is positioned between two characters in two totally separate realities, portraying this idea that the phone here is a potential link between both realities. However, if the usage of the phone here in Kingdom Hearts is similar to that of a wind phone, then maybe it's a case that Sora and Strelitzia are only able to leave messages for the other side and not actually have proper conversation. We also learned in Dark Road that the underworld of Olympus can actually be used to communicate with the dead. And we see in the Kingdom Hearts 4 reveal trailer that Donald and Goofy are currently there looking for Hades. It's pretty possible that they're trying to look for a way in order to get in contact with Sora, considering that technically speaking, Sora is dead. After all, Strelitzia describes Quadratum as being an afterworld. So for Donald and Goofy and the rest, the underworld of Olympus could be their method of communicating somehow with Sora. But there's another really cool idea attached to this phone as well. We still don't know how world travel is going to work in Kingdom Hearts 4. We don't know if there is such thing as an oceans between, so we don't know if the gummy ship system is going to return or even how it would return. I do wonder if the phone potentially has capabilities of being able to send Sora into different worlds of unreality, because it does look as if the phone is located in the apartment space. I mean, it's kind of hard to say for sure, just judging by this very slim image of the phone itself, but I would say you access it within the apartment. And Nomura has described the apartment as being this sort of base of operations, a location that you'll be going back and forward from. It would make sense for world travel to be accessed within the apartment. Along with all of that, imagine if the phone also acted as the save point here in Kingdom Hearts 4, rather than that of the traditional glowing green warp point we all know and love. So that's some more speculation and smaller details and stuff that's just been floating around in my brain that I absolutely had to spew out to you guys. As always, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions. However, dudes, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to slap that like button and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date. A big thank you to my wonderful patrons. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk again real soon.